Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon you guys. So this is the second part of the tutorial, the Nasheed tutorials. And this one I want to get into the nitty-gritty of it now. And basically I haven't fully structured it properly, but I just want to get into the base and basics of how to make a Nasheed. So here I have basically I'm using Cubase and I have pre-recorded tracks and I'll walk you through it. These are just the Nasheeds which I haven't used and it's somewhere in like on my computer. So these are basically the things which I haven't used, and this is the timeline, and you're supposed to record. So I have my mic and I record my vocals into it. So the idea that I go with it, generally speaking, I always have an idea in my head, and I will try and kind of like just bring it out. So people get inspirations in so many different ways. I tend to get inspirations through lyrics or like ideas, thoughts that I have, and then I make a melody out of them. But this one in particular, I just had a melody in my head. So I was going in my head, I was basically thinking it out like this. I was saying, I forgot what it was, but I was like, dum ba dum, 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 and that's how I was going about it. And so I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty nice. Let me see if I can record it. So, anyways, let's get into it. So imagine this is an audio track. So normally I'll just add audio, and then I'll put mono, the name, how many, and I'll select track and we'll add. But I don't need that right now. I have already recorded. Yeah. So this is audio, and then I would normally record. Let's say I'll delete these, but I would normally record one track as we have here. So I'll take the timeline and I'll just press record and it would record. So I have taken off. These are the certain plugins which I have, which I own, and this is an equalizer. I'll let you know what each does and how it affects your Nasheeds. So I'll play this right now so you guys have an understanding of what's happening, what it is. Not perfect, but I said okay, cool. So that was it. So I said okay, fine, that's what I wanted. This was the base. And then I said, you know what, it's not enough to just have that. I'm going to have a bit more emphasis on it. So I added another track, which was this. I'm going to unmute it. I'm going to solo it, just so you guys can hear it only. That's how so I would have more emphasis on the dum ba dum. So when you play them both together, this is what it sounds like. Dum ba dum, dum ba dum, dum ba dum, dum ba dum. So that makes sense, right? So okay, so let's just go back to the dum ba dum, and let's basically edit a lot of it. So this is the plugins which I kind of used. The first one was a Waves plugin. This one you have to buy. It doesn't come with this Cubase. It's Waves is a very famous company, which they help kind of like just tune your voice a little bit. There's not much that I used on it. It just I just left it to bass. So this is normally you could use the keyboard to say like don't hit this note with your voice and things like that, but I decided not to. I said look, just let it do what it does, and there's not a lot that has changed. Let's listen. You can't tell, there's not much that has changed, but it says okay fine, look, if I need to change anything in the future I will. And then this Isotope is another plugin which I use. Actually, you don't need to buy a lot of these plugins. So Isotope, you don't really need it, nor do you need Waves. This Cubase comes with its own. I just prefer these ones. So I says, okay, normally what I do, I always go into compression. And actually with the compression, I normally flatten it out. Um, Once again, maybe I won't be explaining compressions or a lot of any of these tools. Um, Reopen, I don't know why it's closed. Check, okay, fine. I won't be explaining a lot of these tools. I'm just hoping also that you just kind of like have a base understanding of it. So yeah, so I'll use I use this compression and I will increase the sound. So it's kind of like I flatten it out because so the lower vocals end up matching the higher vocals, so they all sound like level at the same tone kind of thing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it about to 10 dB. That's just basically volumes, and without getting too complex, it's another way of gaining volume. The EQ is, I'll take this EQ off and I'll use the other one. Reverb is just basically, you know, when I want to explain it. I'll let you listen to it. So let's do this. I'll put just a compression off now, and you listen. It has that type of volume, right? And I'm gonna put the compression on now. Do you want to know so much of a difference? But basically, it's when I go I tend to go a little bit quieter, so it brings that a bit higher, so it's at the same level. And then I'll add the reverb, which I had before, which it gives you more of like an echoey type voice. A lot of people use it when they're reciting Quran, but as you can hear, I'll exaggerate it. You can hear it, and I'll take away the dry to make a bigger difference. You can hear the difference, but I'll get a very good balance, and I kind of like it always like around this area. This saturation makes your voice a little bit thicker. So let's listen with it on. Off. On. Makes it just a little bit thicker. Everything is very subtle. What else? Okay, cool. So we got this. I'm gonna go here for my EQ. And EQ is basically no, let me go back actually and do it here. I'll just I don't know why. Sorry guys, this is always updating. And this is normally it would start like this, something like this. So let's start like that. And what I'm gonna do is make more of these. Yeah, so I'm gonna and my low vocals are not very it's almost like I always take away the lows and the highs. A lot of the reason is because there are sounds in which like you won't be able to hear, but sometimes is you want to hear each voice very clearly, and you want to kind of make sure that it doesn't interfere with the other voices. And there's sometimes like things that you just don't need to listen to. So let me take this one off. So I'll have a high pass filter, and I'll put it there to about 50. The same thing with the top, and I'll just put it around there. Okay. My voice personally, there's this thing which I have. As you can see over here, it's spiking up, and it vibrates a lot, and I always like take that away a little bit. I can exaggerate, you can hear, but I just always do a little bit, and then I'll leave it there for now. I'll leave it there for now, and that's it. So here's the difference between them on and off. That's on. I'll take the roll off. On. Off. Basic, subtle, but it makes a difference in the long run. And then let's add this one now. I'll increase it to just about the same level. And we'll do the same thing with this one. So once again, there was the waves plugin. I did basically the same thing, except I was trying to hit certain notes. So it says I'm gonna make sure, even if it doesn't or does, I'm gonna make sure it doesn't go on the notes which I didn't want it to hit. I added an extra compressor. Now this is one that came with the software. I basically applied the same rule, bring it all to the same level. And I did the same thing with the oh, 1 second, reopen. Oh, subhanAllah. I did the same thing. Added a reverb, added some delay. Delay is what is another word for echo. Compressor, I did the same thing, and then the echo, the EQ, I did the same thing here as I did the first one. I didn't add saturation, and I just left it up there. So when they sound together, it's what it sounds like. I'll probably increase the volume for the other one. So we're building and we're getting somewhere now. We're building and we're getting somewhere. Let's stop it now and add the other stuff. So by now I was like, okay, fine, let me add more sound. And the sound which I decided to add was these two, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Let's see what I did for them. For either O, once again, reverb, compressor. I did not flatten it out. I wanted the different volumes. And I didn't do any EQ, but I would once again do the same thing to about there. Oh no, my bad, the wrong one. High pass filter in about there. And I would mess about with this, but I won't get too complicated. I will do more on the other tutorials. So there we go. I just solo these two. Why do I have two? Let me double check why I have two. Oh my god, I don't know why this keeps crashing. How well, in hindsight, I can't see why I have to. But yeah, what I would normally do, I would pan one to one side to get a more of a surrounding noise. Yeah, it gives me more of a surrounding noise. Once again, I'll probably add voices. Not voices. I will probably add the waves plugin, although I haven't added it here. If you add it too much, your voice might sound a little bit robotic, so I'll leave it out, or I left it out. So there we go. See, that's nice. It's basic, very nice. Normally I would add a lot more. I have these other audio tracks down here in which they are just trial and errors. There's a lot of trial and errors that goes into this. But on the basic, this is it. I would then probably write lyrics and then see what goes with it. So I was adding a lot of things, but this was the base. And this for the first tutorial, I would leave it at there. And cool. I'm gonna upload another one, focus on another Nasheed which I did. And yeah, so I just wanted to get the basics out of the way. Cool. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.